We begin with breaking news on the resumption of the NBA season. The National Basketball Association Board of Governors has voted to approve a 22-team, single-site format to restart this season.
Yes, sir! How you doing, mom? Y'all finna go to the beach. We on our way down now. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's finally happening. The NBA is coming back. And while yes, there's still a while to wait until the July 31st start date, at least it's confirmed now. And so this will be a continuation to a video I made last week, as we now have more info and a set plan as to what's exactly going to be happening with the conclusion of the season. Because while yes, most things are going to remain the same, there are some things that needed to be changed to compensate for the shortened season. And so today we're going to be talking about the plan, the changes they made, and also I'll be giving my predictions for the rest of the season. But before we begin, if you're new here, I'm Double D. I'm a huge basketball fan and I make NBA videos here on YouTube. So if you're also an NBA fan, or just a basketball fan in general, feel free to hit the sub button and click the bell to be notified when I upload more videos just like this one. Alright, let's get into the video. So when I made my video last week, we didn't really know that much about, what was going to happen, how the playoffs would work, things like that. But now that the board of directors has passed a proposal to resume the season with a 29-1 vote, we now have a detailed plan for what's exactly going to be happening over the next few months as we finish the season. And like I said before, it's mostly the same in terms of how we're going to be playing the playoffs, but things leading up to it are different due to the shortened season. So on June 15th, all international players who return to their countries are set to be back to their team. And on June 21st, all players are set to be back with their teams to begin training. On June 22nd, all players will begin daily testing for the virus to ensure that everyone is clean and we can go forward. On June 30th, NBA teams will begin their training camps at their own facilities to prepare. And here's where things get exciting. On July 7th, all 22 teams that were invited will be traveling to Orlando to continue their training. These teams will be the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, Heat, Pacers, Sixers, Nets, Magic, and Wizards from the Eastern Conference, and the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Jazz, Thunder, Rockets, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Blazers, Pelicans, Kings, Spurs, and Suns in the Western Conference. Wow, that was a mouthful. But if you're a T-Wolves fan, I am yikes. So overall, 13 Western Conference teams and 9 Eastern Conference teams. So here's how things will work. On July 31st, we'll start playing games. Each team will be playing 8 regular season games over a 16-day period in a summer league style format. Games all throughout the afternoon on alternating courts, with a gap between games for sanitizing because, we're still in a pandemic. So 8 games for each team to finish out the rest of the season and determine seeding. So here's the fun part. If the 9th seed is within 4 games of the 8th seed at the end of those games, then those teams will then have a play-in tournament to determine who actually gets the 8th seed. So the way that works is they'll play against each other, and if the 8th seed wins, then that's it, they get the 8th seed. But if the 9th seed wins, then they play another game, and whoever wins that game gets the privilege of having the 8th seed. And also gets the privilege of being demolished by either the Lakers or Bucks. Fun. So from here, we play the playoffs as normal. 7-game series, nothing really to talk about here. On August 25th, we'll have the draft lottery. Warriors will hopefully get the first pick. And the last possible date for the season, which would be a finals game 7, is set for October 12th. And from there, we begin the shortest off-season in NBA history. On October 15th, we have the actual draft, and just 3 days later, on October 18th, is when free agency begins, which, like everything else this year, will suck. Given that Andre Drummond is really the only interesting free agent to look at, but less than a month later on November 10th, training camps will begin to open back up, and on December 1st, we'll start the 2020-21 season. So overall, that's what we're looking at over the rest of the year, but I'm also going to give my predictions for absolutely everything you can imagine this season, and hopefully we'll be able to look back on this video in a few months and not become a meme. Okay, so these are just going to be my predictions for everything you can imagine for the rest of the season. Awards, all NBA teams, all rookie teams, all that. So let's start with the rookies. Okay, so all rookie first team I believe is going to be Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, Kendrick Nunn, Kobe White, and RJ Barrett, with rookie of the year going to Ja Morant. Most improved player is probably going to be between Brandon Ingram and Bam Adebayo, but I have Bam winning it. Last season he averaged 9 points and 7 rebounds, almost a steal and a block, and shot 56%. But this season he averaged 16.2 points, 10.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.2 steals, and 1.3 blocks, and earned his first All-Star selection. But we also have to acknowledge what Brandon Ingram is doing this season too. He's averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 47% from the field and 39% from 3. But I still think Bam wins it for his defense, but the numbers are going to be pretty close there. So Coach of the Year, I actually can't decide, but I believe it's going to be between Nick Nurse and Mike Budenholzer. And I think it may go to Nick Nurse because they just lost Kawhi Leonard, and they're still the second seed in the East with a 46-18 record, trailing only the Bucks. The sixth man will probably be Dennis Schroeder. I know. Yes, I am not picking Lou Williams, because while he definitely has a case for winning his 42nd Sixth Man of the Year, averaging 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists, I believe Dennis Schroeder has a chance to win it given what he's doing for OKC right now. He's averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 47% from the field and 38% from 3, and it's helping OKC's second unit out a lot. But I could still see it going to Lou Williams. Okay, so now we get to the All-NBA teams. And this was actually pretty tough because I didn't know whether to put LeBron as a guard or a forward, which you'd actually be surprised how much that actually affects everybody else. So for the sake of being proper, I decided to put him as a guard since he's officially listed as a point guard this season. So for the All-NBA first team, I have LeBron James, James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid. For the second team, I have Luka Doncic, Damian Lillard, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Middleton, and Nikola Jokic. And for the third team, I have Trae Young, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, Pascal Siakam, and Rudy Gobert. Now, you can hate on me all you want for these, but I challenge you to create your own teams in the comments down below. And just to show, this is every single player that I also considered that didn't make these lists. So, all defensive teams. First team, I have Ben Simmons, Marcus Smart, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, and Rudy Gobert. And for my second team, I have Chris Paul, Patrick Beverley, Kawhi Leonard, Bam Adebayo, and Joel Embiid. So now for the most important awards, I have Anthony Davis winning Defensive Player of the Year. However, I could also see it going to Giannis. I just think AD is going to edge him out there. And of course, my MVP is Giannis. Now, this is interesting, because this season I'm witnessing probably the most blatant example of the media trying to push a narrative. The MVP race this season is likely going to be between Giannis, LeBron, and James Harden. And this season we've had the media trying to push a LeBron for MVP narrative. They've given the, 35 years old, year 17, all that. They've been doing that all year. But then we have what the media has been starting to do just before the season was suspended. And I mean, just listen to this bullshit.
What do you see from LeBron here in this 17th season? Because there are people who say that he should be ahead in the MVP race just because of what he's doing, where he's doing it, and now, of course, with the burden with everything that happened with that team and Kobe Bryant's tragic death.
Like, how do you even begin to make that argument? First of all, Giannis was also close with Kobe, but that's not even the worst part about this. How can you make an argument for a basketball award with two things that are outside of basketball? But this is actually my favorite reaction. Like, just listen to what my man Dom2K had to say about this.
I felt like everyone was discussing, the only discussion was whether he was going to be unanimous or not. So that's the problem, right? Because all in that tiny amount of time, again, I tweeted that 3 weeks ago, everybody kind of in unison at that time believed, yeah, this is a Giannis thing. Up until the beginning of last week, everybody agreed that. It was that far away that we were having unanimous discussions. So all in the span of 7 days, the conversation went from is Giannis unanimous to seeing sports analysts like Jay Williams tweet that LeBron is now in first place after this weekend. What? How in the hell do you go from where we were to where we are in a week?
And by the way, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my man Dom2K. But Giannis is the MVP. He's been the MVP all year. You know this because the discussion all season has been Giannis versus so-and-so. Earlier in the season, it was Giannis versus Kawhi. Then it was Giannis and Luka. Then Giannis and Harden. And now Giannis and LeBron. Like, I'm pretty sure we can see who the MVP is based off of that. Okay, I'm done ranting. So, my favorite to win the championship is the Clippers. And before you say anything, I had this pick since last year. And I've actually been watching both LA teams a lot this season, and I feel like they're better equipped to deal with Milwaukee. Because, I mean, come on, we all know they're coming out of the East. But also at the same time, they have the personnel to slow down both LeBron and AD. And in my opinion, if they're going to beat the Lakers, then they just need to hit their shots. And so there's all my predictions for the rest of the season. It's looking like we're going to have an exciting end to this season, despite not having a season for 4 months by the time it starts back up. So I think people are going to be even more hyped than ever, and that's only going to help. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new, and hit the bell to be notified when I upload. Comment down below what you want to see next, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.